What's up, Lakers fans? Welcome back to another video where we dive deep into everything going on with the purple and gold. A lot has happened recently, especially around the G League draft, and if you blinked, you probably missed a few key moves that could actually end up being pretty important for the team's future. So, let's get right into it, because the Lakers have been cooking up something that shows they're thinking long-term, not just about this season, but about building a real developmental system, something they've quietly been working toward for years. So here's the deal. The Lakers landed the #1 pick in the 2025 G League draft and used it to select Dillon Jones, a player who immediately had people talking. Jones is the kind of guy you could see developing into a useful piece, maybe not a star, but a solid, versatile contributor. Think of a Jordan Goodwin type of player, scrappy, physical, someone who does the dirty work and plays with heart. For a brief moment, it looked like the Lakers were ready to invest in him, maybe stash him on their G League affiliate, give him some development time, and see how he evolved. But then, boom, a curveball. The Lakers turned around and traded Jones almost immediately. And that's where things get interesting. The trade wasn't just about moving a player. The Lakers picked up some future draft capital, 2 future picks to be exact, along with another player, Will Richardson. Now, at first glance, it might look like a simple swap, but when you really look closer, you realize that this kind of move says a lot about where the Lakers' heads are strategically. They're trying to create flexibility, keep options open, and build a farm system that allows them to find value outside of traditional free agency and blockbuster trades. It's the kind of forward-thinking approach that's becoming essential under the new collective bargaining agreement, where finding hidden gems can make or break a roster. So who exactly is Will Richardson, and what can he bring to the table? Well, Richardson is a 6'5" combo guard who played at Oregon. He's got good size for the position, a solid wingspan, and enough versatility to play both guard spots, even slide to the small forward position in some lineups. The Lakers actually worked him out back in 2022, so he's not exactly a stranger to their radar. They've been aware of him for a while, and now they've finally got him in the system. But here's the thing. Richardson isn't a young prospect in the traditional sense. He's 26 years old, which means he's probably much closer to his ceiling than his floor. You're not necessarily projecting massive development at that age, but what you can get is a player who's more polished and ready to contribute right away. He's not an explosive athlete. His vertical's around 31 to 32 inches, but he's crafty, smart, and has that steady pace that comes from years of experience. He's also shown he can shoot the ball, which is something the Lakers value highly in their system. A couple of seasons ago, he hit over 40% from 3, and last season, he hovered just below 38% on a solid volume of attempts. The idea is that he could fit that bigger Gabe Vincent mold, a guard who could defend multiple positions, hit open shots, and play within a system alongside stars like LeBron James and Austin Reaves. He's got a wingspan that's been reported anywhere between 6'9" and 6'12", so let's call it about 6'10". That length makes him disruptive defensively and allows him to guard 1 through 3, maybe even small ball 4s in certain matchups. He's not going to blow anyone away with highlight dunks or blazing speed, but he understands angles, closes out well, and uses his frame to make life tough on opposing guards. Now, if we're being completely honest, it's unlikely Richardson cracks the main Lakers roster this season. It feels more like an asset move than anything else. The Lakers needed a player to balance the trade, and Richardson fit the bill. That said, he's not just a throw-in. The front office does like having options, especially players who can be developed within their South Bay Lakers program. The Lakers have been investing heavily in their G League affiliate over the last few years, not just in terms of players, but also in coaching and development infrastructure. They're trying to create something that mirrors what successful MLB franchises do. A proper farm system where players are cultivated and eventually moved up to contribute at the next level. It's actually a smart way to adapt to how the NBA is changing. With the new rules and tighter salary caps, you can't just stack superstars and fill the bench with veterans on minimum deals anymore. You need to be able to develop your own role players, 7th, 8th, 9th guys who can step in and play meaningful minutes when called upon. That's why these G League moves, while they might seem minor, are actually a big part of a larger plan. When you think about how the Lakers used to operate, It was all about the big swings, trades, free agent signings, that kind of thing. But the game's changing. Now it's about sustainability. You need cheap, controllable talent who can fit into your system. And the Lakers are finally embracing that idea. They're building out their development pipeline so that when a player like Richardson shows promise, he can slide into the roster seamlessly. That's not to say, well, Richardson is guaranteed to be that guy. Far from it. If anything, this might just be another step in a longer chain of transactions. The Lakers may have picked him up mainly for the flexibility, the real prize being those extra picks that could be used in a future trade. Think about it. With 2 more picks added to the stash, the front office now has more leverage to pursue bigger moves down the line, whether it's at the trade deadline or next offseason. They're basically keeping the door open for any opportunity that might come up. And it's not the first time they've done something like this. Over the last few years, we've seen them pick up players, stash them, move them, and use those assets to get better fits. That's just how the modern NBA works now. You need those small, calculated moves to stay competitive, especially when your core players are on big contracts. Still, it's hard not to be intrigued by what Richardson could offer if he does stick around. He's mature, composed, and has that classic combo guard feel. Someone who can handle the ball but doesn't need to dominate it. He's shown flashes of being a solid playmaker, and he understands team basketball. He's the kind of player you can plug in alongside stars without worrying about him taking bad shots or disrupting the rhythm of the offense. If his shooting translates and his defense holds up, he could become a nice rotational piece down the line. But like I said earlier, I wouldn't bet on him making the Lakers' main roster anytime soon. This feels like one of those let's take a look situations. Keep him in the G League, see how he performs, and if he impresses, maybe give him a shot in training camp or on a 2-way contract. The Lakers have been pretty good about giving those opportunities to players who show they're willing to work, so it's definitely not impossible. At the end of the day, this move highlights something important. The Lakers are investing in development. They're thinking beyond the immediate future. They're not just focused on this year's rotation or who's in the starting lineup. They're building an ecosystem, one where the G League team, the 2-way players, and the main roster all function together in a connected cycle. Players come in, develop, move up, and new ones take their place. That's how you build lasting success in today's NBA. You can see it in the little details, how they scout, who they sign, even the kinds of trades they make. Every move has a purpose. Even if it's not about getting the next superstar, it's about setting the stage for the next opportunity. And that's exactly what this Will Richardson trade represents. It's not flashy, it's not going to dominate headlines, but it's smart basketball business. So while some fans might look at it and think, why trade Dylan Jones? He had upside. The truth is the Lakers probably had this mapped out already. They may have drafted him knowing he was part of a trade package, using that number 1 pick as leverage to get more assets. That's just how front offices play the game now. It's all about positioning, and the Lakers are positioning themselves very well for the future. When you really think about it, what the Lakers are doing right now feels like the natural evolution of how an elite franchise adapts to the modern NBA. This isn't the early 2000s where teams could afford to just spend their way out of roster problems. The new collective bargaining agreement changed the game entirely. Every dollar matters, every draft pick is an asset, and every young player who shows potential could turn into something valuable, whether that's as part of the rotation or as trade currency. That's exactly why these G League moves, which might seem minor to some, actually carry long-term significance. The Lakers are building what you could call an internal ecosystem. They want their G League team to mirror the style, culture, and expectations of the main roster. The idea is that when a player earns a call-up, he's not starting from scratch. He's already familiar with the playbook, the terminology, the pace, and even the team chemistry. It's like what baseball teams do with their farm systems, except now you're seeing NBA franchises try to implement the same model. The Lakers are one of the organizations leading that charge, and it's clear they're committed to making it work. It also helps that the NBA itself is moving in that direction. The league has been steadily adding new mechanisms that encourage player development and closer ties between G League affiliates and parent teams. The addition of extra 2-way contracts, the flexibility to retain player rights, and the protection against other teams poaching your prospects are all part of a broader vision. The league wants to make the G League a true developmental extension of the NBA, not just a proving ground for undrafted players. And the Lakers have seen the writing on the wall. They're getting ahead of the curve. Now, if we go back to Will Richardson for a second, his case is a perfect example of why this system matters. Sure, he's not the youngest or flashiest player, but he represents opportunity. He's someone who can contribute right away at the G League level, bring veteran leadership to the younger guys, and possibly surprise people if he gets the right moment. Even if he never wears a Lakers jersey in a regular season game, his presence still serves a purpose. He helps elevate the standard of play within the developmental team, and that's valuable. The truth is, every successful organization needs players like Richardson, steady hands who can fill roles, mentor younger prospects, and provide continuity within the system. Think about it this way. Not every player in your pipeline needs to become a rotation piece. Some are there to help shape the culture and keep the machine running smoothly. The Lakers have figured that out. They're not just collecting talent. They're building structure. That's why this trade was less about who they gave up and more about what they gained. The extra draft picks might not make headlines today, but they open doors later. Maybe those picks become part of a package for a mid-season trade. Maybe they're used to draft another hidden gem. Or maybe they simply become leverage when the Lakers want to move up in a future draft. Whatever the case, it's all about maintaining flexibility. And in today's league, flexibility is everything. It's also worth pointing out that this isn't happening in isolation. The Lakers have been quietly building a group of young, developmental prospects through their G League program and two-way contracts. Guys like Max Christie and Austin Reaves showed that when the Lakers invest in a player's growth, it can pay off big time. That success has clearly encouraged them to double down on that philosophy. You can see it in the way they handle their summer league rosters, their training camp invites, and even their staff hires. It's all connected. When you take a step back, it's clear this is more than just a side project. It's a long-term vision. They're creating a system where the pipeline of talent is consistent. Players come in, develop, and either grow into contributors or become part of a bigger trade. There's no dead weight. Everything has a purpose. And in a league as competitive as the NBA, that kind of efficiency can be the difference between being good and being great. Of course, that doesn't mean there won't be misses. Not every prospect is going to pan out. For every success story like Reaves, there are going to be plenty of players who never crack the main roster. But the key is volume and consistency. The more you develop, the better your odds of finding that one player who changes everything. The Lakers understand that. They're playing the numbers game smartly. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA, whispers are emerging from league insiders that the Los Angeles Lakers are ready to pull off one of the most audacious trades of the season. According to sources close to the matter, the Lakers have reportedly made a massive, multi-million-dollar offer from Memphis Grizzlies superstar Ja Morant, and they are allegedly including Austin Reaves as part of the deal. The mere thought of Morant in purple and gold has already ignited a frenzy among fans and analysts alike. Known for his explosive athleticism, jaw-dropping dunks, and uncanny ability to take over games, Morant would instantly become the centerpiece of a Lakers team eager to reclaim its former dominance. The Lakers, who have struggled to find consistent footing post-LeBron's prime, might see Morant as the high-octane spark capable of propelling them back to championship contention. Austin Reaves, a fan favorite and one of the most promising young talents on the Lakers roster, could be a key bargaining chip in the negotiations. Sources suggest that the Grizzlies front office would likely demand a package that balances immediate talent with long-term potential, and including Reaves may be Los Angeles' attempt to sweeten the pot. The Lakers' willingness to part with Reaves signals just how serious they are about landing a superstar capable of shifting the franchise's trajectory. League insiders are quick to caution that talks are still in their early stages, and nothing is finalized. However, the rumor mill has already gone into overdrive, with social media buzzing over possible scenarios, trade packages, and the seismic shift this move could create in the Western Conference. Lakers fans are understandably ecstatic at the prospect, imagining Morant orchestrating fast breaks in Staples Center while teaming up with LeBron James and Anthony Davis in what could be a terrifyingly dynamic trio. While the Grizzlies have remained tight-lipped, it's safe to say they are aware of the brewing storm. Memphis has a young core built around Morant, and any decision to part ways with their star would send ripples across the league. For now, the idea of Ja Morant donning a Lakers jersey is nothing more than tantalizing speculation, but one that's sure to dominate headlines if even the faintest hint of progress emerges from negotiations. As the NBA world holds its breath, one thing is clear. If this trade were to happen, it would redefine the balance of power and create a buzz that won't die down anytime soon. Lakers fans are dreaming big, and the rumor, whether it materializes or not, is already the talk of the town. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.